Hi, I'm Tomas. I'm CEO of RockawayX Infra. We are basically infrastructure provider from blockchain since 2021. We run validators on Solana, obviously, and also like on Ethereum and part of the Wormhole Guardian set. So we basically cover most of the blockchains which are like active.
Matt Wahl. I run institutional partnerships for Validation Cloud. We're a performance and intelligence engine. What that means, we run highly performant staking infrastructure and RPC node infrastructure, and we also just launched a data and AI product as well.
And I'm Nicky from Marinade. I'm head of BD over there, and appreciate you guys joining me today. So we're going to go through a couple questions here today for Validator's Edge, right? Trying to get the perspective of, and I'm going to be referring to you both as mid to small size validators. I'm using that term loosely today. I know you guys are both juggernauts in your own way. I'm going to start off with the first question here. What are the biggest challenges you face when trying to attract stake in a landscape dominated by large validators with substantial brand recognition? Matt, you want to start us off?
Yeah, it's obviously a very highly competitive environment right now, and if you're narrowing in specifically on Solana, there's a lot of unique reward streams that allow validators to pull, whether it's commission rewards, MEV, block rewards. So what we're seeing is, there's a handful of like incumbent leaders in the staking space that had the ability to build moats with large custodians, large wallet providers. But the way to attract capital now is outside of staking. It's a lot of value. Providing value-added services outside of staking. So you're seeing that a lot now with what Galaxy's doing in their credit facility, and then some of the MicroStrategy type companies that were mentioned before. So the way to attract capital now is doing more than just running a validator, bringing more value to the ecosystem, and bringing in stake that way.
Yeah, for us it's kind of similar story. So we cannot compete with those big companies because we don't have the marketing budgets, but we have like more like boutique approach. So basically our partnerships are like not just for staking, but bringing more value to our customers. So it's basically like most of the time it's like a combination that it's staking. We can provide like RPC services, which are like tailored for the customer, and also like other white label and white glove services for them. So running white label nodes where they basically just give us stake and we will handle everything else.
Great, fantastic. Second question here. Why do mid-sized validators matter for the health and decentralization of the Solana network? And what role do you believe that you play that larger validators can't or don't?
Yes, so for us, we have been in the ecosystem since 2020, like running early testnet. So we know how it works. For us, it's not just about like yield, but we understand that we should help the network grow, even though we are like not the biggest one, and also like do additional services. Like, for example, we are also like partnering with 00 as like a bandwidth contributor, which can help like Solana to be faster in Europe. So I think it's good to like help these mid-sized validators to grow and help decentralize. Because decentralization, in my opinion, it's not a just like bullshit world, but it's actual resiliency of the network.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to education. As you see institutions move into this space, they will learn, I think right now, a lot of it, especially on the Bitcoin side with ETFs, it's surface level. You're coming in, you're looking for an edge, distributing a product people might want. Obviously the returns are great, but as you realize you're deploying capital into these ecosystems, when you understand the risk of centralization, you as an issuer or an investor, it's in your best interest in making an investment in that ecosystem to also contribute to the decentralization. So a lot of it's education that comes with just getting involved in the ecosystem, and I think things work out from there.
Yeah, that's perfect. And we're going to get a little bit more into the education side of this now and being aware of centralization. Many stakers don't look beyond APY or validator name. How do you educate stakers about why choosing smaller validators matters? And are users aware of centralization risks?
Yeah, I mean, despite what I just said, what's going to motivate people to use a smaller validator is not decentralization. There's going to be some type of, and from their perspective, there's going to be a selfish interest in that. So the performance is something that probably should have played more of a role up to this point in choosing a staking partner. Probably hasn't, especially with smaller amounts of stake. A few bips here and there is not going to outweigh the convenience factor. So the most important thing so far to this point, I think, in the market were security. So there are a lot of great staking companies that we compete with that deliver secure products. But the biggest thing was the path of least resistance. Staking is a service that's an add-on. A lot of funds are smaller. They don't have a ton of resources. So they're going to stake with where they custody or stake with where they trade. But as these products go to market from an ETF perspective, and once you add staking into that, a few bits is going to move the needle. Right now with Bitcoin ETFs, the only way to differentiate, like a lot of these, they almost give them away for free. So pricing was really the only way to differentiate. Once staking gets involved, there's going to be liquidity concerns on managing the amount of assets you stake within those. But then performance is going to be another lever that helps you differentiate a product. And when you're selling to endowments, foundations, any large institution, a few bips here and there will go a long way in separating your product.
Yeah, I think decentralization really matters. People are starting to understand, but I'm always have like a story. Imagine that actually blockchain is used for your daily life, and like using blockchain, you own your house, you own your car, you have money and everything. And if it's everything is just controlled by few parties, let's say in the same country, there is like something happening in the country, and the blockchain stops. What does it mean? You are homeless, you have no car, you have no money. So people should start understanding that decentralization is resiliency, and like in the end, it helps to grow also like the value of the token, because the value of the token in the end is the usability and like the services which the token or the network provides. And if the network is always down or have some issues, the price will go down.
Thank you. How do staking delegation programs like Marinade impact your ability to grow? Are options such as Marinade or even Jito helpful for your validator?
If for us, Marinade is a great thing how to attract stake, which is like only like the staking products, because most of our offerings like combine products like staking and an RPC. But if users want just staking, Marinade is a great way for us to acquire more stake.
Yeah, I mean it's a double-edged sword, right? The economics for us as a validator are far greater if someone goes directly to us than with a Marinade Select, but there's a lot of different types of customers out there. So a product like a Marinade is a great solution for some holders. For others, it might not be a great fit. So participating in that, it's like, why fight it? You guys built a great product. We're happy to work with you, more than happy to work with you. And I think there's just different types of use cases out there. So a liquid staking token, a product like Marinade Select is going to be a good fit for different types of users. So, I think it's just a net positive to the entire ecosystem.
What does success look like for mid-size Solana validators in 2025 and beyond? Is it a matter of just stake growth, or does influence matter as well?
Yeah, definitely. Stake growth, that's it. But also it's also for us, stake is one metric, but also the influence and like the brand recognition for our other services is really important. And like for us, one of the metrics is to be known as like the top performing validator.
Yeah, similar. Stake growth is the ultimate goal, but the revenues that we can drive through stake growth on Solana can be reinvested into other products. We have our RPC, but the biggest of which is our data and AI product, which is We've launched it on 1L1. It's ChatGPT on top of a blockchain, and there's been a lot of talk about data accessibility, and bringing in those next users to Solana. And we think the way Solana can cross that chasm is through data accessibility, especially on the institutional side. If you're looking at the buy side, understanding what products they're buying, having the ability to compare them with one another. A lot of these firms don't have like Web3 native individuals to do that research. So what we're enabling is natural language querying on the Solana blockchain. So that's going to help both the buy side in getting access to these products, and then the sell side in understanding who's buying their products, where their products might sit in DeFi, where it might not sit. So success for us looks like driving more than just staking revenue, but driving institutional users on chain through our products.
If you could ask Solana Foundation or even the whole Solana community for one change that would help mid-sized validators thrive, what would it be?
Yeah, I would say do not support validators that like hurt the user experience. I mean, like validators which are like doing sandwiching, or like running potato validators, which are basically slowing down the network. And like, even though if we have like top-notch machines which can like produce huge blocks, these guys are basically hurting the user experience for everyone else.
Yeah, what he said as well. Working closely with firms who are trying to build more on the network outside of just staking those value-added resources or value-added products. We're trying to bring more value to the product or to the network in different ways. So just additional support there, working with us and helping shape our roadmap.
Thanks, guys. If there's one thing that you'd want this audience to take away about both Validation Cloud and then RockawayX, what would that be?
You should choose your validator operator wisely, because it makes a difference who do you choose in the long term.
Yeah, conduct proper due diligence, SOC 2 compliance. Don't be afraid to look under the hood on who you're staking with, and don't go the path of least resistance when it comes to staking. There's a lot of some notorious games played with fees, offering lower commission, but maybe a validator's capturing more MEV on the back end. So do your due diligence, vet out your validator partners, make sure you're getting a good deal out of things, make sure your assets are sitting with compliant infrastructure. And then, anyone here who wants to talk about our data and AI product, if you're building on Solana and you think bringing natural language querying to that product could be a value add, would love to chat about that.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. I'm going to throw one more at you. Do you see a future where users on platforms such as Coinbase or even Kraken will have the option to use things like Validation Cloud and RockawayX?
I know if I can answer that, but like that would be like the right thing to do. But there are like different like business interests of like many parties, so I hope it will happen, but I'm not sure, to be honest.
I think it is happening. Our friends BitGo, they've, I think, done a really good job through the last bear market. They're very open to adding new validators. If a client wants to stake with Validation Cloud with RockawayX, BitGo's very accommodating. I realize Coinbase has acquired a staking company. There's a few other competitors who have done that. That model, again, path of least resistance, but as companies like BitGo, Anchorage is fairly flexible as well, as those types of custodians offer more third-party service providers. It's going to force the ecosystem to adapt. So I think any smart liquid fund, any smart ETF issuer, they don't want to be pigeonholed into specific services. Custody might be used as a loss leader for some of these. I came from a custodian, but they get their fees in different ways. the way to build products as the market gets more competitive. Like staking is an opportunity, is a tool for an asset manager to drive alpha, and giving the ability to, choose your own staking provider, bring your own validator, and then that obviously goes up the stack on trading and different other third-party services. I think the market's going that way.
Thanks, guys. I know I speak on behalf of the entire Marinade team. We're so thankful to be working with both of you, and thank you both for being on stage today at our event. And yeah, please give it up for both of them.
Thank you.
Thank you.